There is a saying that those who can do teach and those who can teach consult. Running a company is challenging, and no matter how successful it becomes or how many entrepreneur tags the founder puts on their Twitter bio, there will always be unexpected challenges that exceed the capabilities of anyone within the firm. This is where consultants come in. Consultants are skilled experts in a narrow field of business. For example, if a company wants to introduce a new online payment processing system but has no experience setting it up, a smart manager could hire a consulting firm. This firm might have a team that specializes in setting up payment systems for other companies and is very good at it, since that's all they do. If the business hires this firm, the consultants will set everything up and train someone in the company to operate the system after they leave. This approach can often be cheaper and involve much less downtime than trying to train or hire an employee to roll out big projects like this new payment system. Some professionals who specialize in giving advice may not refer to themselves as consultants, depending on their area of expertise. However, experienced consultants who specialize in certain fields are not the same group of consultants who are causing problems. The latter group is comprised of management consultants who have caused harm to people around the world through their work. The big three management consulting firms, being Boston Consulting Group and McKinsey & Company, make billions of dollars annually by advising corporate executives and government leaders on how to perform their jobs. Consultants can be a valuable resource if they provide advice in an area where they have a lot of experience or specialize in a particular type of business. However, senior management challenges are always unique, and even these prestigious consulting firms may not have as much knowledge as they claim. Management consulting is costly to businesses and governments, and the firm cost by some management consultants has been very compelling. Each year, poor business performance and unnecessary layoffs could be costing us billions of dollars in direct fees. Although consulting firms have some semi-legal tricks that ensure they are not going anywhere anytime soon, let's first discuss the role of management consultants. Management consultants are brought into a business for a short period of time to help fix a problem, launch a big project, or streamline business operations. They are given access to the company's operations so that they can observe how the business works, talk to employees, and sometimes even customers. Based on their findings, they recommend areas of improvement or devise a strategy to achieve goals as easily and cheaply as possible. Unlike most other consultants, management consultants do not deliver a completed project to the business. Instead, they provide a series of recommendations for managers to follow, usually presented in the form of a slide deck with lots of beautiful-looking graphs filled with data they collected during their investigation. There are 3 reasons why this relatively simple process. The problem with management consulting is that consultants often lack actual experience in the areas they're advising on. Non-management consultants usually have extensive experience before moving into consulting roles. However, experienced senior managers are rare and expensive, and they often retire instead of becoming consultants. Despite this, management consulting firms do not prioritize hiring experienced individuals. Instead, they hire young graduates from top universities who become analysts and do most of the project work under the supervision of a managing director or partner. However, these analysts often end up working on tasks that have nothing to do with their initial goals. Managing directors and partners are usually promoted from within the company, and there is an upper outstaffing policy, meaning junior analysts who are not promoted within 3 years will be let go. They have been asked to leave. The problem that arises from this is that people who are doing the majority of the consulting work lack senior management experience and often do not have any experience working in large companies at all. Despite this obvious flaw, management consulting firms continue this practice because it has become ingrained in corporate culture. A partner who has worked their way up from being an analyst might not want to hire someone for their team with too much real-world experience because they might successfully challenge their expertise. Graduates are also much cheaper to hire. Management consulting is based on billable hours, so analysts are expected to put in long weeks. The average salaries at McKinsey for a first-year analyst range from $90,000 to $110,000. which is a lot. However, it is not that competitive when the expectation is to work 80 hours per week with lots of stress and with very little job security. It is also lower than what those some graduates can earn. People who choose to work in consulting jobs rather than pursuing some lucrative careers in investment banking, private equity, or fintech do so because of the opportunities that come with it. They become highly sought after for management positions in regular companies due to their experience in making companies run better. However, this is not the ideal situation, since consultants should gain experience in the field they are giving advice on before they provide advice. Moreover, the fact that management consultants lack experience in the field they are consulting in is just one of the many problems with consulting companies. I found out that my first information was on several websites, which was a shock to me. I discovered that this is happening because there are data brokers who are selling our information to robocalls, telemarketers, spammers, and anyone else who's interested in it. This is unacceptable. The second issue with management consulting firms is that they may accept projects even if they are not adequately prepared to deliver good results in that field. Companies like Bain McKinsey and Boston Consulting Group do not hold direct responsibility for any negative outcomes resulting from their advice. Their worst consequence would be a damaged reputation. Thus, there is a little motivation for profit-driven partners to decline lucrative contracts even if they cannot provide sound guidance. Their company culture has become to oversell their infallible business acumen and then figure out how to do the work after securing the job. In her book, The Big Con, Rosie Collington, a college professor and business reporter, discusses the harm this approach can cause, particularly in government contracts. In 2019 and 2020, the British government spent nearly £1 billion, or roughly $1.3 billion, on the Brexit strategy. Hiring large management consulting firms with no prior experience for situations like Brexit is questionable use of taxpayer money. The consulting firms conduct surveys and create reports that elected public servants are capable of doing. Consulting services are often more expensive than anticipated. With the British government spending $1.3 billion on consulting, the French and US governments have also faced scandals involving excessively generous contracts with consulting firms. The government hired consultants who then hire their own consultants to help them roll out an online service. Unfortunately, the service still failed. This is a common problem for big companies, where consulting fees can end up being a significant cost in the business. Some company managers spend up to 10% of their operating budget on consultants to tell them how to do their jobs. The problem with relying too heavily on consultants is that it can prevent a company from developing its own in-house capabilities. If consultants are always brought in to solve every problem a business encounters, then there is no need to hire teams of people internally to deal with these problems. This can result in a reduction in headcount and limit the company's ability to improve its operations. Therefore, it's important for businesses and governments to consider the direct and indirect costs of relying on consultants. While direct costs are easy to calculate, indirect costs such as lost opportunities for internal development can be more difficult to measure. By balancing the use of consultants with the development of in-house capabilities, companies can achieve better outcomes and avoid becoming overly dependent on consultants. Consultants may suggest cost-cutting measures that appear easy and overlook the importance of existing problem-solving teams within a company. This can lead to high costs and questionable performance, yet governments and businesses leaders continue to hire management consulting firms. The three main reasons for this are: it can be beneficial for the careers of decision makers. Elected officials often move into consulting after leaving office, and senior consultants can earn large salaries. The average partner salary at a consulting firm is $527,000 per year, with some earning over $1 million annually. To make sure you get highly desirable jobs in the office, it's important to build relationships with firms by using their services while you're still in office. This is called the political corporate revolving door. As long as politicians don't directly hire consulting firms with the understanding that they will be hired after leaving office, it's not considered corruption. This is one of the only ways politicians can monetize their position without it being considered corrupt. Management consulting firms are often hired by companies to help with executive job searches. CEOs, COOs, and CFOs at public companies make $5 million or more every year, so becoming a management consulting partner would be a step down for them. However, consultants can still help their career in other ways. Consulting partners are more likely to hire executives for key roles that they have worked with in the past, so they can make recommendations based on first-hand experience. You're also likely to recommend a CEO that has been employed their consulting services in the past, because they will continue to build hours. Consultants help career-driven executives secure job positions and avoid being exposed as unqualified. They guide executives on how to do their jobs and protect them from blame. Although their advice is valuable, it's open to interpretation and only worthwhile if it changes someone's mind. Executives hire consultants to silence critics, take credit for success, and blame them for failures. Consultants who agree with executives' missions won't produce opposing reports. The consultants who could threaten national safety are even more dangerous. Thank you for watching. We hope you find this video informative and helpful in understanding the role of consultants in business decision making. If you enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing to our channel for more insightful videos on business, technology, and more. Your support helps us create more valuable content for our viewers. Thank you again for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.